Hey, I just wanted to come on here, do a video real quick, because this is actually important. I still haven't made my BitChute channel yet. No, I said I would be doing my second to last video, but I've been extremely busy. A lot of other personal stuff has been coming up, so I've been holding off on that. And I also have to post a TikTok of my GoFundMe for one of my friends, which I would highly appreciate if you donate to help my friend, because she needs dentures, and it's actually real bad. I've also made the decision of me saying of probably not leaving YouTube, but the stuff I can't talk about on here, that's why I'm gonna use my BitChute account. It's gonna take me a while. Um, the post all my content over there. So the videos will be over there, well, at least the ones I deem worthy. But let me make this video, and also totally ignore my shirt. It's a Superman shirt from like years ago when Batman versus Superman came out. It says "False God," but what do I want to say? Okay, so I just want to come on here real quick and tell you to have faith and tell you that God is in control. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you there's nothing to worry about, because there is stuff to worry about. But do not put fear over God, Mother of God. Um, God is listening to our prayers. God hears us. God understands where we're at financially, where we're at with family members. I wanted to come on here and state a dream that I've had with a brother. Um, Actually, it was a couple days ago. And I also wanted to state that this is of high importance, and this has to do with the shift change. And God has actually been talking to me today, and God also showed me something else today while I'm at it. So I want to sit here and say these things. So it deals with the shift change, the metaverse, and it also deals with family members that have been jabbed, that have been medicated and took the mark of the beast. So bear with me. So a couple days ago, today's Wednesday, so on Monday, I went to sleep late at night, and I just said my typical prayer. If there's anything you want to tell me, God, let me know, and told God to protect me while I'm asleep, while I'm wide awake and asleep, and pour the blood of Jesus around my house and to surround it with angels. And pretty much that's it, to protect my family and all the other stuff. Um, but basically, I went to sleep, and right when I went to sleep, and it was pitch black, it was dark, it was around like maybe like between 12 and like 3 o'clock. And so I go to sleep, and basically, and this is actually going to sound outrageous, but I was conscious when this was happening. Um, my house got lifted into the air. It was pitch black outside. It was dark, and my house completely got lifted into the air like Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. And when that happened, this sounds so far-fetched, but it is not far-fetched. So bear with me. When that happened, literally, I saw an angel tampering with time. And it wasn't a fallen angel. It was actually an angel. And it had all these colors on it. It looked like had all these rainbow colors on it. And, the rainbow represents, God's promise, but I've also had in dreams about Obama, it represents false promise. So, but in this case, it represents God's promise. And there was an angel with a rod or a staff twirling time with its fingers, like how somebody with a pencil. Where's something? Actually, let me use this. Like something with, this is literally right next to me. Like something like somebody would twirl I can't do that. Twirl a pencil in their hand with just two fingers, 3 fingers. But you get the point. I did that for a reason. And basically it was speeding up time. And I saw what the angel looked like. It basically, I didn't see its face. But basically it had a giant dome over its head, like Mysterio from Spider-Man. I'm thinking of the animated one in the comic book version. But basically, the reason why I had a dome over its head, it's because probably it didn't want me to see its face, or God didn't want me to see its face, like that has any of any importance. But I wasn't intimidated by it at all whatsoever. It was an angel speeding up time. And if you don't study angelology or stuff about what demons and all this other stuff, there are angels that control time. And there are demons that tamper with time. So that's like a whole different conversation for another day. But but the angel was just spinning the rod in its hand, and it was going from our current time to, it went to 2030, to then the number, I was being shown numbers in my head while all this was happening. And literally it just sped up so fast that literally it was the 21st century. And I mean, the 21st century, we live in the 20th century. It was speeding up to the 21st century. So imagine that. And then basically while my house was lifted in the air, it changed. My environment changed, and basically it was like it was basically like a bathroom. I saw one of my cousins in this dimension go to the bathroom, and then the bathroom was a portal, and basically 3 or 4 different versions of my cousins were coming out, and none of them were evil, none of them were doppelgangers and all this other stuff. And then I saw my mom, and so woke up that day, like at whatever time, and I woke up at 7 something, and I told myself, and I told myself mentally, and I said, God, well, if this is true, if this is real, this is true, give me confirmation. And so later on during that day, I woke up around 7. Yeah, like around 7, 7, 8, 9, or whatever the case may be. And I talked about in one of my videos how you'll go to sleep one day and your life will be completely changed. I literally went to sleep the second time, and God basically made me famous. Basically, I was talking to a brother on the phone, and I was saying that I was basically sitting in the chair, but my head was like this, and I just woke up, and there was like a giant railing when I woke up on my throne, there was a giant railing of people wanting to see me, like how they show in music videos, they have a railing or a pole to separate the people. And basically, yeah, and then there were people right in front of me. They were screaming my name, saying all this other stuff, and I knew it was real. I knew it was real because it just happened within seconds. And so while that was going on, I woke up, went into a store, and my older brother was with me. My oldest brother is the one that stays here, but I was in Wisconsin. My older brother was with me. My uncle was there. There was this long line, and I remember it bright as day. There was a black man with a microphone. If you've never been to a convention or whatever the case is, people that do interviews, they always have like fuzz on top of the microphone, and it was like an orange or green tip at the microphone. And I remember me speaking into it, and I was walking with my older brother. He was happy, and basically where we were headed, and I was talking, let me finish. Where we were headed, basically, and it clicked yesterday, I was headed towards an interview. And if you've never been to a convention, you know that when celebrities sit down, there's a table for them, and that's when people get interviewed and whatnot. So that happened. And then in terms of the metaverse, after I got done talking with this person on the phone, I was saying that basically once you get jabbed, once you get medicated, there are different versions of the mark of the beast. There's them basically medicating you, there's them injecting you, there's what Elon Musk wants to do with you, and then there's Mark Zuckerberg, and then there's like other companies that have different versions of the metaverse, like such as the Omniverse. Once you're personally, God actually showed me this, But once you get injected with that, and once you put on those virtual reality, whatever he wants to do, Mark Zuckerberg wants to do, and all these other companies, you're done. I was talking to the guy on the phone yesterday, and I said that once you're pretty much, they inject you with it, and regardless of whether they put a chip in your brain or whatever the case it is, you're stuck there. They actually do this stuff in the occult where they take somebody's consciousness and they put it into a new body. There's a movie on Netflix called Selfless with Ryan Reynolds, where an old man, he's dying and he gets a perfectly reserved body and he transfers his consciousness over into that person's body. And that's also another thing that happens in stuff like Replica with Keanu Reeves. But basically, hold on, let me stop this alarm clock right quick. Okay, dismiss. But basically, that happened. And it was about this individual I was talking to. I wanted to have sex with her and all this other stuff, having thoughts. Go to sleep, and that person is medicated. And God basically showed me this person, and we were going to have sex in the virtual world. And I'm in a chair. I'm not jabbed, and nor will I ever. But she is. She sat down in a chair, put on the virtual reality helmet, the goggles, whatever the case it is. And basically, we were going to, get it on in the virtual world. I was having some real nasty thoughts, I can tell you that. And basically, since, in the virtual world, everything is more surreal, God was with me when I put those goggles or in the machine or whatever the case it is, because it told me that she's done. Her soul was basically trapped in the metaverse, and there I actually saw an entity. So how when they talk about stuff like Ghost in the Machine, I actually saw a ghost in the machine. I put on the helmet, and something told me, don't look in this direction, look in the corner of your eye. And man, when I mean to tell you, I saw a spirit, I saw a demon, and it was real. And so basically I took the goggles off, and I was just like, oh my God. But that other individual, since they already took the mark of the beast, their consciousness was stuck in the machine, and an entity took them over since they already had the mark of the beast, if that makes any sense at all whatsoever. And I told myself I was done. I left in that dream, but I also saw everything that was going on, and this person transformed, and this person was no longer human. And when I was talking to this individual on the phone, I told them, and I said that, when your consciousness, it'll be basically worse than hell, because you'll be in two places at the same time. That person's body was taken over by a demon, by an evil spirit, by a demon that was in the virtual world. And the Call for Uprising talks about how they can bring dead people back to life by making everything seem so surreal. So imagine an evil spirit taking over someone and possessing them. And so this individual was possessed, and a demon wholeheartedly took over their body, and their consciousness, their spirit, soul, whatever you want to call it, was trapped in the metaverse. But it gets worse. And I'm going to tell you why. And so time passes in that dream. I know I'm going back and forth about talking on the phone and stuff, but this literally happened the day after I was talking to another individual. So time passes in that dream, and God basically takes me to the metaverse. God basically snuck me into the metaverse and showed me what is going to happen with these individuals that are trapped in the metaverse. And I'm driving in a car. It's like a car that drives itself, and I see nothing but black goo. The black sentient creatures that are alive, that are all over in the metaverse. They were just guarding it. And if you were an intruder, if God snuck you in there, you're basically, they were basically like the police. They're basically like the police, and red lights would go off like alert saying that this person is not human. Um, so that happened, and then basically once I actually am in the metaverse, I saw all these people that were trapped in the metaverse, but it basically once in the metaverse, so basically once I got into the metaverse and I was fully there, God showed me that it's going to be exactly just like the Matrix. How basically people will go about their day-to-day lives. People will sit there and think everything's fine, everything's normal. This is what they're used to. People that are working will still be working. You know, they won't age. Of course, they'll still look the same probably after you saw them, but they're stuck there. And for the people that that they force this stuff on, they're also going to be stuck there, and they're going to be crying out for help and screaming for help, but nobody can hear their call. Nobody can hear their cries. I mean, God can hear them, but God will ignore them. And it'll feel like you're living just a normal day-to-day life. You go outside your house, you use the bathroom, do whatever, get the mail, but it isn't your reality. Your consciousness is stuck in the metaverse forever. And that's the life you have to live. Sort of like Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. The same day all over and over again. And so that happened. And then basically after that happened, God was basically showing me that was a thing. And then so the next dream, and you're actually not going to believe this because somebody that I no longer follow anymore, she talks about this. God was showing me who I am in different dimensions. I exist in 81. Apparently there's like more. I just woke up from that. There's like more. But point is, God was showing me that when I was a kid, like, let me give some emphasis on this. So basically when I was a kid, when it came to the pretty girl in the classroom, I never talked to her because I was shy, right? God showed me that, well, since you had a problem in this dimension, over in another dimension where you're still a kid and you're still in school and you're growing older and all these other things, that you actually are successful. You know, you like somebody, you talk to them, you know, your confidence is totally different. God also showed me that basically, God also showed me that in terms of, he showed me in elementary school, then he showed me in middle school. And he showed that the friends that you thought you had in this world are totally different in this world. And there are different outcomes because in my life, things didn't work out with some of the friends I was friends with in middle school. So while that was going on, God showed me that. And then he also showed me, when he showed me these things, he also asked me, he said that, well, what else do you want to see? And the first thing that came to mind was, I want to see what heaven is like in this other dimension. And God would have showed it to me. Well, he gradually is showing it to me. And then that's pretty much where the dream ended. Because if you don't know, heaven and hell are totally different in this dimension than it is. Heaven and hell are totally different in this dimension than another one, if that makes any sense. And so, like, in this dimension, we have the lake of fire, fire, brimstone, all that other stuff. And in heaven, we have the New Jerusalem. Well, over in another dimension, it could be just like Dante's Inferno. Like, if you've never read Dante's Inferno, the lowest level in hell is pretty much ice, where Lucifer is frozen. In which case, I had a dream about that. But that probably is the case. So what heaven looks like in another dimension, have no idea. But that was something I also want to show. And also the angels look different and whatnot. So that, and also God has also shown me that in terms of family members, your family members that are jabbed, or I don't know how this is going to work out when the shift change happens and all this other stuff, but I do want to sit here and put some clarity on this, and I do claim this, and I can say that your family members that have taken the mark of the beast, they do exist in another dimension. Now, how that works, have no idea, don't care, but they do exist. They are real. I don't know what God's going to do personally, but they do exist and they are out there. So have comfort in those words. So that, and that's pretty much it. And yeah. And so, like I've been saying in my videos, that the world will change. Well, when you go to sleep, your world will be changed, and within the blink of an eye. And that's it, pretty much. And anybody that's talking about the 3 days of darkness and all this other stuff, somebody I follow, but I don't affiliate with this person, said that after the shift change, the 3 days of darkness is going to happen. Because think about, I don't claim this. This is just speculation. Think about where you're at now, where you're financially struggling, where you're alone, where you physically don't look up to par, and all these other things. Why would God trigger the 3 days of darkness now, when his saints and the people that follow him aren't in the position to warn people and to tell people that, hey, this is going on? So that will probably happen after the shift change. So there's that. Even though I don't claim that. And in terms of this World War III nonsense and these EMP attacks and cyber attacks, let me give you some something that can calm your soul, some wisdom, some love, and some knowledge. Turn that stuff off. It says in the Bible, and I barely read the Bible, which amazes me. A guy that barely reads the Bible but has studied the whole thing has more faith than somebody that can go to church, pray, fast, and has read the entire Bible. Listen to these words and get encouragement from these words. These things are going to happen. Eventually, these things will happen. There is nothing that can prevent them. But if you have no faith in God whatsoever, you're useless. Basically, I want to sit here and say that you are absolutely useless, and you're basically putting fear over God, and you're saying that the devil is God of your life, and you are declaring him as your Lord and Savior, and you're saying that God cannot do these things. I posted on my channel how there was literally raining fish coming down from the sky randomly out of nowhere, and a lot of other stuff. Raining fish coming from the sky. That's something that is seen in the Old Testament when in Exodus, when they're hungry and they're eating, food comes randomly out of nowhere. Or at least I saw that in an animated movie. But point is, have faith. And just like I've said before about how the shift change will happen within a blink of an eye, it will happen. Me, I'm most likely going to be asleep. Because that actually has happened to me. But for you or whoever the case it is, that's not my problem. That's between you and God, or whatever the case it is. But these things will happen, and have some reassurance and find comfort in these words. And I'm telling you these words because God and Jesus, they do love you, and they don't want you to give into the spirit of fear. Now, should you prepare yourself, be aware of these things, and spread information and all this other stuff? Of course. Dubbed like I'd be a false prophet saying you shouldn't be worried. You should be concerned, but you should be concerned at a healthy level. Fear is a healthy thing. Too much fear is putting the devil over God. That gets into like a lot of other stuff. How God basically, when the people talk about the fear of God, God puts God creates your brain, and there's a part of your brain that is responsible next to your conscience that says, I should be afraid of this. That's healthy. Too much of it, watching the news, being on Instagram, listening to all these people constantly talk about cyber attacks and EMP attacks. What are you doing? And quit listening to these people that are saying, take your money out of your bank account. This is the fear mongering, because you and I both know, the person who is watching this, is that makes no lick of a difference if they were to attack the grid, an EMP attack, or whatever the case might be, where money won't even be a thing. So what are you doing? What do you look like pulling money out of your bank account? You look dumb. because you're feeding into the fear. And it's not like, and let's just say if that were to happen, they were to implement digital currency or mark of the beast or whatever the case is, it'd be useless. It'd literally be useless, including gold. So don't listen to those people. If you got to pull out money, whatever the case it is, do what you got to do. But and also I want to sit here and say that even though my playlist is private on this channel, that I had 2 years ago during quarantine, I was listening to a video of a woman say that people are saying a lot of stuff that when World War III happens, they'll trigger an EMP attack. But this woman, she said that basically when an EMP attack does happen, God will protect certain people's houses. Everybody else, like let's say you stay in a neighborhood of 200 people, right? 200 people, right? You stay in a neighborhood of 200 people and an EMP attack happens and everybody's power goes off, except for maybe about 10, 20 people, right? 10, 20 people. And that 10 or 20 people out of that neighborhood, their power didn't go out. It's for a reason, because God is protecting those people. God has angels that can do anything. Jesus is here. Jesus is alive and well. Don't ever put fear over God. Out of all the things that pisses God off, it's fear. Because when you put fear over God, you're saying that God cannot do anything at all whatsoever. God can't change your life within a blink of an eye, which he will be doing pretty soon. And so he can do these things. And in terms of, I already mentioned that. And that's pretty much it. And in terms of when the shift change does happen, this channel is going to be gone. Like all my videos and stuff, like it will be gone. God's basically going to change everybody's memories, pretty much. And obviously the world is going to be split in half. But yeah, man. And so that, and I also had a vision about the 144,000, even though I am one. Basically, we were all on white horses. So picture like people in the medieval times, and we were all wearing, I don't know, this is also delayed to me through my mind. And I saw this, we were all like in heaven or whatever the case might be. And we had white horses, and we were all sitting on a white horse, and Jesus was leading everybody in the front. But you got to picture this. Jesus is in the front, but I was in the back. But even though I was in the back and I'm like 900 something, I saw Jesus right next to me, which is basically a metaphor and a literal thing about an individual's relationship with God and how close Jesus is to them, if that makes sense. So that and yeah, and also you should and in this time period, while there's still time and while you're off and all these other things, you need to write, get a journal. You need to write everything down. You need to get a flash drive, and you need to basically this is what I'm doing. I gotta leave one of my old phones in a journal, so they can so my family or whoever the case finds it, they can just charge my phone and look at the information that's on my phone. If that doesn't work, because Google and other companies can shut off these phones within the blink of an eye, so they won't work, you have a flash drive. Put all the information that you can find, or TikToks, whatever the case it is, put it on the flash drive, save it in that journal, and take it out when you need it. And leave a note saying that all the information you need is in this flash drive in case something happens to this notebook. And so that sounds like a lot of writing, but do it. Or you can really just type up everything. So yeah, I want to come on here, sit here and say that. And that's pretty much it. So I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys got something from this, and have a blessed day. And I'll update you on my BitChute thing. But after this video, I'm posting the TikTok for my friend's GoFundMe, because she's in desperate need of dentures and stuff. So so far on my channel, it's gotten like 400 likes, but 400 likes don't add up to helping somebody. So yeah, I hope you guys have a blessed day. You enjoy yourself and stay grounded in God, and don't give into the fear. And so yeah, love you and hope you guys have a blessed day.